Hello and welcome to Truth Tuesday. I'm Mark Grayless, the Connections and Pastoral Care Minister here at First Christian Church. Over the years in ministry, one of the questions that continually came across my path was, how do I get my husband to come to church with me? Women forever have asked that question because in the average church there are 2/3 women and 1/3 men. In most smaller churches especially, those numbers are even higher. Maybe you've asked that question. Maybe you've invited your husband to attend church with you and he's had that list of excuses a mile long. Because most men look at church like this. Church is for women, wimps, and weirdos. David Murrow once said that about men in church because they think real men don't go to church. So we're going to give you a few hints and some encouragement about attending First Christian Church in Brazil. First of all, take your husband to a larger church. If you take him to a small church, all those people can see a lot of times is another person they're looking to put to work immediately. In a larger context, he has an opportunity to look around and take a look at different things that are happening in the church. To look at a big picture, not feel like he's being singled out as being a man there. Secondly, take him to a church that preaches the scriptures. Men can tell a phony very quickly. Men have this natural ability to tell truth and not truth, and they look for something stable in their life. Therefore, when we talk about the scriptures, they want to hear what God has to say, not what an individual has to say. Their phony meter goes off the chart when they think something is being done just to twist their arm. Take them to a place where there's good music. Even though the men may not like to sing, they like good music. Men like excellence in church, and that's what you want to look for when you take them to church. Look and see if there's junk in the corners, whether the yard's well groomed. All of those things that men look at when they go in a building. Another thing they look for is a manly pastor. Someone they can look up to, someone who is knowledgeable, someone who is normal. And look for a casual place too. Look for a place that has a casual attire. Women, they just naturally like to get dialed up and go someplace, but most guys, the idea of putting on a suit and tie and dress shoes for 2 hours on a Sunday morning just doesn't rate at the top of their list. So they're much more comfortable in a place where they can put on a golf shirt and ease in and just relax in a laid-back atmosphere. Those are some hints. But I'm going to take just a few moments to talk about First Christian. It's a church where you can depend on the scriptures being preached. It's a place where your man can meet manly men. I look around our audience and I see coaches. I see hunters. I see gun enthusiasts. I see guys that do all kinds of things, from work on cars to work in an office. Just all kinds of men that are part of our fellowship. It's also a place that's welcoming. It's a place where he comes in, he can have a cup of coffee and a donut, sit down at the table and make a friend or tell stories with some other guys just hanging around before church. When we talk about pastors, the men on our staff are all dedicated to God, dedicated to ministry, and they're just normal guys who happen to be called to preach. So it's a guy that if you have a problem, he's probably been there, he's probably done that, or he's going to have to have dealt with someone who had that problem come across their life. Our staff, our guys are very dedicated to serving the Lord. It's a place where he won't be singled out. A place where he can find a little place to pull away from the world and learn about God and learn about being part of God's family. So if you want your husband to come to church, number one, don't nag him. Number two, maybe bring him to a side door event. Like we do a men's wild game dinner once a year. And some of our guys that have come to the church for the first time came to that and had a good time with 250 guys from our community. Or maybe there's something else going on, a golf outing or little league team coaches or whatever. Those things are around for him to plug into and build relationships, and through those relationships, build a relationship with the church.